Oh, am I going to turn this light on? Bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just going to change the lighting. It makes me look so pale. My Lord.
Looks like you're really close to the light source.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's see if I can do. How's that? Is that better?
Yes, that is better.
Okay, good. And if you see smoke, it is definitely the stick.
Mine keeps going out. It's Palo Santo I find hard to keep lit.
It is.
It's
Hello,
hard.
Daniel. Hello, Rose. Thanks for joining.
Hey, everyone.
Okay. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Rose. She said she's jumping on to say hello to both of us.
Aw, hi, Rose. Nice to see you.
All right. There we go. Adam joined. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Dolce by Pina joined. Hello. Thank you for joining. We're just going to wait another minute or so before we start. I hope everybody's enjoying their, well, if you're at least in Ontario, family day long weekend. Is it Canada wide or is it just provincial?
I think it's Canada wide.
Hmm.
It's supposed to align with President's Day, but I don't think is it President's Day or Lincoln's birthday? I think it's President's Day. It's supposed to align with that.
Oh, girl, you lost me when you started talking politics.
Yeah, I know just because I have friends that work in HR for American companies that it is a holiday. It's a commemorated day, but it's not a stat down there for whatever reason. So, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to start off with a brief introductions. So I'm Steve from Energy Healing with Steve, and my practices include energy healing using crystals, Reiki, tarot, and sound. And how about yourself, Kat?
So my name's Kat. I'm with a company called Well Earth Holistic. This is a company I founded, and my mission is optimal health for people and pets and the planet. And I achieve that through my animal Reiki practice and my, which is designed as supplemental healing for allopathic care. So we would never tell you to stop going to your doctor, but we are here to help you with quicker recovery, doing better under anesthetic, mental health, that sort of thing. So partnering with conventional care to supplement that care. And then I'm also a permaculturalist. So I believe in traditional skills, and I like to coach people on how to grow their own food and be self-sufficient and break the reliance on big agriculture, pharma, and retail. And in addition to that, I also read tarot because I believe it's very good exercise for your intuition and third eye. And I use it in my coaching, and I think everybody should learn how to do it.
All right. Well said. And on that note, it's a great segue to talk a little bit about a teeny weeny disclaimer. So anything that we talk about tonight obviously does not replace advice from your doctor or medical team or any legal issues. This is for arts and entertainment only. All right. So let's start. Kat, do you want to recap last week just to a quick summary?
Absolutely. So we had, what did we have last week? So we had the page of, was it Pentacles, I think, that came up. So that was arrival of news or ideas in its early stages about finances or resources. And then we had the Judgment again, which is the reminder that we're going through this awakening. But Temperance tells us to have a balanced approach. Then we had the Five of Cups in reverse, so some emotional upheaval due to losses. Take what you can from that. Ace of Rods in reverse, project being stalled due to that being all in an upheaval. But the Four of Rods in reverse, which is also a good card, means you could be going through a little bit of a rite of passage, and just to pay really close attention to the messages that you received last week. So that was last time on Sacred Sundays.
Perfect. All right. So we'll start off. Maybe I'll start with my cards. We'll go from there. So the cards for this week that I pulled, I've got the Two of Wands. So let's just make sure it gets it clear. Here we go. The Two of Wands here, really, Wands is a fire card, and actually my entire reading this week is about fire and passion. So we'll get right to that. Yeah. The Two of Wands, you can see that there's like a globe there. And she is holding, obviously, the wand and looking out the window. So Wands is a creativity, a passion, a fire card. So what she's doing is basically she's at the beginning of her journey, and she's at the planning stages of that creative idea that she's got going on. And it's almost like she's got like the world in the palm of her hands. Like she's got that confidence, right? And then from there, we move on to the Emperor. So the Emperor, again, another fire card. So the Emperor, when it comes to astrology, really correlates to the sign of Aries. And also, you think of the Emperor more like a father figure. So somebody who, lives by rules and enforces the rules. And if you don't abide by those rules, he's not going to be a very happy person. This is somebody who can also be very stubborn, but they're very... they're smart and they're aggressive in the sense of they know what they want and they can go out there and get it. Okay. And then from there, we move on to the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, again, another fire card. Okay. Another creativity. And the page really represents the beginning of a journey. So it could be somebody who's going to deliver news, somebody who's enthusiastic. They have this, new ideas and visions and so on. So they're at the very beginning stages. They don't know how to implement anything at this point. Okay. So if I'm looking at all three cards together, okay. So let's see if I can do this. Okay. So what I'm getting at this week, really in summary, is this could be a week of major creativity, of hits of things that you want to do, you want to get done, projects that you want to start. But I think you have to remember the emperors in this reading, indicating to me that, you know what, you have to stay within those boundaries and within those rules, even though, being creative usually breaks those rules. But I think if you're going to have a project that's going to get on its way, at the very beginning stages, at least, because both of the Wands cards, they're at the very beginning, you want to stick to the rules. Don't deviate from what's out there. Stick to all matters, whether it be legal, financial, and so on. Stay on that train track. Okay. What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, I would agree. So the Wands, I didn't get any Wands. Interestingly, I got everything else. But I think there's probably some people that are next week that are, this awakening process that we're on. There's new joiners every week, I think. And so the collective gets more and more people joining the cause. So I kind of feel that Two of Wands, there's maybe a new initiate that's just kind of sort of awakening and beginning and seeing that there's more going on here than I thought. And seeing the potential of what that could lead to.
Yeah.
And then your next card again. So the Emperor, like you said, if you don't follow his lead, it's sort of like a father figure, like you're grounded. If you don't, I think people, when they're new to something, they look for authority. They look for, okay, this is new. This is strange. This doesn't align with anything that I already know. Who can I go to that might be an authority on this, or who might be able to explain a little bit and help me understand a little bit? And then the Page, again, pages often mean messages, new ideas coming in. The Page of Swords is a young person full of piss and vinegar and wants to prove themselves. And so this is maybe some of that knowledge that's starting to come in as they go through this newfound, oh my gosh, what's really happening in the world. So that to me describes a little bit about maybe the beginning of somebody's journey as they're joining the awakening.
Yeah.
So, and before I get to my cards, I want to talk a little bit about this deck that I just bought this weekend. I've been reading the same deck for years, and I went out to a psychic fair this weekend and to see what they had for sale, and I spent way too much money. But one of the things that I got was this beautiful folklore tarot deck, one of the, again, by US Games, who I think does a lot of these tarots. But this one was illustrated by a Canadian artist that does children's books and whatnot. And just the artwork is just amazing. And so it wouldn't be for a beginner because it doesn't really have the imagery that the Rider's Waite Smith deck has. So you sort of have to go by knowing the cards. But you can bring some of your intuition into it too. But this brings mythological creatures from all the cultures.
Oh,
And
very cool.
yeah, and they did such an amazing job in getting them all aligned with the archetypes of the major arcana, and the way they did the pip cards and the minor arcana and the court cards, just beautiful. I could talk about that alone for half an hour, but I won't. I want to get right into the cards that I pulled. So the first one I pulled was the Five of Swords. I hope you can see that. A little bit of glare there. So the swords, the pips on this are like more pointed flowers. They're all flowers, but the cups are tulips, cup-shaped flowers. The pentacles are 5-star pointed flowers. Like, they did such a good job. And these are the swords. So Five of Swords means you're feeling a little disadvantaged. You're feeling like you have to take advantage of people to get ahead. You maybe have to misrepresent yourself a little bit. There's that feeling of a little bit of resentfulness. The fives are always kind of that midpoint where you're reaching an impasse, or you've got some kind of hurdle that you've got to get over. So some of us may be feeling a little bit like, if you've just come to some of the realizations this week, or maybe you're past that and you're in another point where you're trying to look around you and see where your allies are. Maybe you're not seeing too many of them. Maybe you're feeling a little bit like you've got to sort of muddle through on this on your own, and maybe you have to sort of put on facades just to get through because everybody around you is like, what are you talking about? So feeling a little bit of that from the collective with that card. And then the next one I pulled was the Seven of Pentacles. Beautiful tree of life here. See what I mean about the 5-star flower?
Yeah.
So the pentacles, so if you remember, the Seven of Pentacles is the fellow with the shovel. He's leaning on it and he's looking at his bush of pentacles. And you can see we've got one that's still in the manifestation phase. We've got all these that have come out, and there's one still being manifested. So the work continues. We're maybe not ready to harvest yet, but we're still really, really focused on the work and manifesting and being busy. But the other thing about this card is it's a reminder to don't get too, like, all work and no play will make you a little bit dull and uninteresting. And it's good to just lift your head up and just let yourself be distracted. Let yourself have a little bit of respite sometimes. This is a good, valiant effort that you're making. The work is going to result in some meaningful outcomes, but don't let it be your entire existence.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this one, I'm just really excited to show you. So Strength. So this is a mythological creature called the Griffin. And the griffin has the head of an eagle and the wings of an eagle and the body of a lion. And so, like the Strength card, obviously there's a lion in there, but the eagle reminds us of the inner strength, whereas the lion is the outer strength. Isn't that amazing how they did that?
Yep.
And they did that with all of the major arcana, and they did such a good job. So a reminder that you can be physically strong on the outside when you're working against people that are challenging you and censoring you, or whatever it is that you're going to be coming across next week. But don't forget, you have that inner strength as well that you're going to need to leverage to get you through some of those obstacles. And you have the power to do it. A reminder that the power is within you. You need only draw it and utilize it. And those were my cards. What are your thoughts, Steve?
So yeah, I mean, so you start off with the Five of Swords. So that is a little bit, it's talking a little bit about conflict. Okay, so I think that could, like you mentioned, that could be, you know what, you maybe because what. So I have a common theme for both of ours this week,
Mm.
and we'll get to that. So I think the five again, you're there's a conflict maybe with not being able to speak or find out what's going on around you. And it can also mean there could be like a little bit of conflict with intellect, right? And then you move on to the Seven of Pentacles, which to me is a career finance type of card. So it's very possible that there could be a little bit of conflict going on at work, a little friendly sparring, I would want to say. And then the seven is basically saying, you know what? The fruits of your labor, they're coming. They're coming slowly. Just chill out a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Enjoy the surroundings, enjoy the fruits of your labor in the sense of they're coming. You know they're coming. You're going to pick them soon, right? And then you move on to the strength, where it's basically saying, yeah, I'm strong outside and inside. And part of the strength of being the inside is being able to hold your ground and kind of not go for something right away. And this is where the common theme comes in for both of us. I feel like patience is the common theme this week. So with yours and mine, I've got the beginning stages of creativity going on here and staying within the train tracks basically. And you have something with a little bit of conflict, but it's going to take time for it to actually come to fruition. Okay. So I think both of our cards this week are really talking about having patience for the general collective.
And some of that conflict also could be internal conflict too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like when the Five of Swords comes up, the first thing is always, oh, it's conflict with other people, because the imagery sort of lends to that. But sometimes it can be internal. Swords mean thoughts as well as communication. So it could mean internal, like cognitive dissonance, what's happening. I don't, the spiritual awakening we always talk about is challenging. And one of the challenges is that you do go through that inner turmoil that you have to reconcile before you can move forward. So
yeah, absolutely. I just want to welcome a couple of people that joined: Finn, Ganesh, and Rini. Thanks for joining. Okay, so that's our general collective reading for this week. So some people are going to be, smacked with creativity and things that you want to get done. Others, you're going to have to wait for your creativity that you've already put in motion to flourish. So really, summary, patience for everyone this week. Okay. All right.
absolutely.
Let's see here. Now, the next part of our little Sacred Sundays is to see if there's anyone on the live that would like a reading. So if there is anyone that would like a reading, just say something in the comments, say yes, put an emoji, anything of that nature. And if there is any specific question, you can mention that as well. And I'll just wait a minute or so while that goes through. And anything up and coming with us, Kat?
I've got some irons in the fire, but I don't have anything really yet to talk about with it as far as dates go. So I'm going to hold off for now.
Yeah, same with mine. I think there's going to be a couple like things in March and April for us that are coming. So as it gets closer, when we do the lives, we will mention it to everyone.
Yes, stay tuned.
All right. I don't see anyone who wants a reading.
So did any of what we just said resonate with anyone? Were there any comments about? Because I'd be curious to know. The feedback is really helpful, guys. If anything that we say during the reading just really strikes a chord with you, let us know in the comments, or just flip us some hearts or fire bombs or 100 whatever. Instagram, you've got a few options in there, just so that we know we're on the right track, because the feedback is nice to get.
Yeah, and I think as well as, even for last week, if the week has gone by and we'd recap the reading, and you talk to yourself, you're like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
that happened to me last week. We
Yeah.
want to know that kind of stuff because it helps us know that we're on the right track for
Mhm.
the general collective.
Yeah.
And one other thing about the general collective is these readings. Oh, Rose put she resonated with the heart. Thank you, Rose. The other thing is when we're doing readings like this for the general collective, remember that they are not specific to each individual.
Mhm.
So you can, some parts of my reading you may resonate with, and that's it. You may resonate with some parts of Kat's, or you may resonate with both of ours and mix the message together, right? So again, for anything that's specific to each individual, then I suggest that you contact either Kat or myself for an actual reading because that'll be directed specifically to you.
Mhm. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. And there's lots of different ways too that when you get a reading, it's really important that you ask the right question,
Yeah.
and we'll help you with that. Like if your question that you're asking, we think maybe should be phrased a little bit differently. Again, like we said earlier, we can't give medical advice, we can't give legal advice, we can't give financial advice. We can give you spiritual advice, but that's about the limit of it. And it's all, again, if anybody remembers the Matrix, the movie The Matrix from 24 years ago, there was a character in The Matrix called the Oracle. And Neo went to see the Oracle and was told, you're going to get the message you need to get. He wasn't told that what she said was going to be 100% accurate, but he was going to get the message he had to get. So you will always get the reading that you need to get. It may not be the reading you expect to get, but the message that comes through is always the message that you need. So,
Good point. Love it. Okay. All right. So I don't see any messages here for reading. So I think what we'll do is maybe we'll wrap it up,
okay.
and we'll be on again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for weekly live tarot and live audience member tarots. Okay. Any closing messages from you, Kat?
Just one day at a time, one epiphany at a time, one crazy dream at a time, and just you know that you're not alone. You know that you're part of our Toronto Soul Collective. So, or if you're outside of Toronto, we're also hopefully eventually reaching more than just Toronto, but we're focusing on our community and outward. And so just leverage that, avail yourself of it. Know that there's people here that know what you're going through and want to help.
Perfect. And thank you, Rose, for she put amazing deliverance from both. So thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Rose. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And until next week, everybody, take care.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.